Hi friends, it's Claire from ScrappyNerdUK, and today I have the final part of my DIY embellishments for my December daily album. So this is a bit of a longer one than I've done, but I've just grouped it all into one video just to get it finished off, ready for the pages to be decorated next week. Apologies for that. And today, so I'm just starting with some bottle caps that I'd bought in America last year that I hadn't done anything with. And I just flattened these using my Big Shot. And next I grabbed my 1-inch circle punch. Well, it's just under a 1 inch, so it creates a little bit of a gap in the bottle cap, but it's fine because you'll see what I do with it in just a second. And these came with some foam pads already in them to stick down, so I've just removed those because I want to use that side. And I just stack up some pieces of paper, glue them together, and I'm just using this acrylic piece with some glossy accents underneath to adhere it down. And these ones, for anyone in the UK, I got these acrylic pieces from the range. I think they were like £3, really inexpensive. And I've just used the glossy accents just to fill in the little reindeer's head, and I've just set that to one side to dry. And then the next thing I'm going to do is repeat the process with some circle punches, and again just glue those all together. I do cut it all out, so I spare you watching me glue some circles of paper together. And I've just used the same paper pad as what I'm using for my December daily, just to make it all cohesive. And just using some glossy accents to stick that down, using one of these little stamped words that I showed you in one of my other DIY embellishment videos. I think this one says Winter Wonderland, and I'm just going to go over the top of that with glossy accents just to seal it all in. And then again, I'll just set that to one side to dry. And then the final one that I do is very, very simple. So I've just grabbed a flare button and just a couple of sticky dots on the back of it, and then into the middle of that flattened bottle cap. And I'm either going to use these just as flat embellishments on a page, or I'm probably going to stick a couple of them on a paper clip and clip them on. So next I'm going to show you the process of doing your own folder insert for your album. So this is a 12 by 12 just piece of white cardstock, and I've scored it at 6 inches, and I've turned it around and scored it at 4 inches, so that will give you your 6 by 8 size. Obviously the pocket pages that are already in there, they're going to be slightly bigger than that because of the hole, the extra ½ inch hole doodah bit that goes on the side, but that's fine. I'm quite fine with that. So I've just creased it, folded it down the middle, flipped it over, and just folded it back on itself. So this creates a pocket each side. And next I just grab, you've seen me do this before in other videos, where I just grab another one of the inserts to use as the guide for the holes. And I just pencil those in. I find it much easier just to draw some guide marks than to use the pocket page to punch straight through. There we go. Excuse me. Got a real frog in my throat this morning, apologies. So next I just punch these holes. Now I'm working with a 6x6 pad of paper this year, so I am quite restricted in terms of the size of inserts that I can make with that. So I am creating this pocket folder out of white cardstock, and then I'll decorate it with a 6x6 paper. So I'm going to create another pocket on the inside, so I'm just sealing the bottom and the sides, And I'm not too worried about that side, because the side with the holes, because that's going to be contained by the rings anyway. So I'm just using this red line tape, which is a bit stronger than just normal double-sided tape, and just folding that over. And I've just punched out just a half circle in the side that you're going to see. There we go. So you can see there, and it's going to be easier to pull out anything that gets popped in there. And then next I go on to decorating the pages with my paper pad. And I'm just choosing some papers that I think will work well. And I'm just heading for, this pack comes with single-sided and double-sided pages, so I'm just trying to use up the single-sided ones rather than the double-sided, because I use those for other projects. So I've just pulled out 4 papers to use front and back, and I just cut these down to 6 by 4 inches, these are. But whatever size you choose to make, we just make it work for you. So I'm just going to tape down 3 sides, because again, the side with the holes, that's all going to be contained in the rings anyway. And I leave this mistake in because I want to show you that it can be fixed if you do make a mistake. So I've stuck this bit of paper down on the front of the pocket, and then I realised that I should have actually penciled the holes in and cut it before sticking it down. And that hole punch is not going to go through all of that card and paper. So I'm having to pull it up, punch the holes, and then lay it back down. It's fine, I didn't rip the paper or anything like that, but it is much easier to punch the holes before adhering it down. And that's the bottom of the pocket done. You can leave it like that if that's how you want it to appear. You could decorate it with stamps, with some mixed media if you wanted to get messy. But I'm just using my paper pad on this occasion. And then I'm just looking at the option of creating an additional pocket on that pocket. And I thought it might be quite nice to add something in there. So if, for instance, I was thinking of this smaller pocket, what I could put in there. For instance, if you got given a gift card for Christmas, and especially if it's a Christmas themed one, and once you've used it, rather than just throwing that gift card in the bin, keep it and pop it in your December daily. Put a little note with it to say who it was from. Just a little memory keeping ideas for you. And just make sure that you leave enough room to actually put something in the pocket. Mine was sucked down quite tight, so there wasn't going to be much room to get anything in there. And then next, there is this, I think I've cut some down on this page, which is why it doesn't quite fit on the rings, to be honest. And again, I've left this in there, but you'll see on here that I'd already punched that hole, that's that half circle, to gain access to the pocket. So really what I should have done is stuck this down first and then punched the card and the paper all in one go. But it's fine. Again, just tracing a line to make sure it is central. Now, because the pocket has already been glued, and I ran out of wet glue, to be honest. Well, I didn't run out, it became all cloggy, so I got rid of it. I just decided just to use my Yoo-hoo glue stick, which I very rarely use, but it worked wonders on this. It enables me to get the piece of paper in place in enough time for it not to stick, and there's no way that I would have been able to do this with some double-sided tape, because it would have been an absolute nightmare. So I got these foam gold glitter puffy words. These came from Hobbycraft, again in the UK. And I just add Merry Christmas and a couple of stars onto the front of this pocket to give it some decoration. And then on the reverse, I just do the same thing with the papers. So I cut down a 4-inch, and that one now I did leave bigger, the one on the top. I left that on at 6 inches, glued that in with a Yoo-hoo stick, and just punched the holes on these and then glued that down. And I decided to leave the decoration on the back as it is, just with the pattern papers, because they're quite busy anyway. And obviously as you go through the month, you can always add. I like to see how bulky my album's going to get sort of midway through before adding any additional embellishments. Especially things like wood veneer and those bottle caps that I've just made. They will bulk the album out and flare. So I'm going to see how I'm getting on sort of midway in terms of room, because I want it all to fit in one album. So I'm just going to find a home for that. That is going to go in that place. However, obviously that can be moved at any stage as to where you want it. And then next I'm moving on to make a smaller little tag pocket. So for this one I'm going to want some double-sided paper. And I'm just going to use some of these offcuts to make the pocket for it. So again, you can actually make whatever size you want. And I decided to go with a 4 by 4.5 inch square. So 1/2 inch wider to allow for the rings. That's it. And I'd already had this 3 by 4 bit cut up, and I just decided to take a little bit off that just to make that pocket a tiny bit smaller. And this is so quick and so simple to do, but it gives you that, it will give you those extra pockets in your album, that extra decoration. And if you're anything like me, I like the feel of not just the pocket pages, but I like the feel of being able to touch the paper and turn it over through the book, rather than having that plasticky feeling the whole way. And I only show you one of these, but I am going to go back and make a couple of these to go throughout the album in different sizes as well. I'm going to make some longer, thinner ones. So this one here, again, I'm just sticking down 2 sides. The third side will be contained by the rings in the binder. Just punching those holes. There we go. And on the back, so I decide, rather than doing a bottom pocket and matching the other side with this scrap that I have, I decide to make it a band instead. So I'm just cutting down the strip down to 4 inches. And I'm just showing you that I just want something to be able, you can just poke it down the middle. Again, gift card container, something just to add a paper clip onto. Just punch in those holes. As I said, it's much easier to punch the holes and then adhere it down. Now this bit I do want to stick down because it's going to It's obviously going to be pulled out, and I need it to be sturdy enough to be able to hold something in there. And because it's obviously not being taped at the bottom, I had some thin tape just next to where the binder rings are going to go, and then some red line tape on the other side, because I want to make sure it does stay nice and strong in the album. And then just adhering that down. And if you see my head appear in shot and I've got my sunglasses on my head, you'll always see that no matter what time of the year it is. I always tend to have my sunglasses with me. I do have a condition with my eyes that my pupils don't respond to light, so my pupils constantly stay open, so even in the winter things appear a lot brighter to me than they would to anyone else. So there is rhyme and reason. My husband likes to take the mick that I walk around with my sunglasses on even in winter, but it's not because I think I look cool. It's because medically light does seem a lot stronger to me. So next I just grabbed I grabbed this wood veneer that I'd already gold embossed of the ornament, and these little enamel dots, they're like a rose gold that work perfectly with this paper pad. Just adding a few of those on, and a tiny word sticker as well. And those tiny word stickers, they're the Tim Holtz ones, and they're called Small Talk, but they're Occasions Small Talk. So there are two different varieties available in the Small Talk one. So this one has Halloween. It also has 4th of July as well, obviously, which isn't relevant to us. It has Happy New Year. It has also the Christmas one, so about 3/4 of a page of little Christmas tiny word stickers, which are absolutely perfect for this album. And I completely forgot that I had these, so I'm glad that I remembered. And I'll probably go back through the album whilst I'm decorating it, though that's going to be added into my December daily kit to make sure that those get used up. So again, just showing you that in situ in the album. And again, that can be moved to anywhere you like. So next I'm just going to show you a really quick DIY card. And it will take you 2 minutes. Literally 2 minutes. But the effect is amazing. I love this. So grab some washi tape, lay it in strips going up the card, and you can do this on a 3x4 card as well. Or if you wanted to make a bigger statement piece, then do it on a 6x8, whatever you want. I'm just using a 4x6 on here. And just lay the strips getting bigger towards the bottom. So you're heading for the shape of a Christmas tree. Now, I tore the washi tape initially, and then my OCD kicked in that it was straight one side and not the other. So I decided just to go down with a ruler and straighten it up. And then next I just add in this gold star brad. Now, if you don't have a gold star brad, then if you've got anything else with a star on, just use that. And again, just adding one of these Tim Holtz tiny word stickers. Do forgive me, I can't remember which one I used on this one, because I used quite a few in the filming of this video. And just adding that back into the pocket. I'll try and show you here, and apologies that it's half off shot, but I do use my iPhone to film, and it's above my head, so I can't actually see the screen whilst I'm doing this. I'm too busy scrapping rather than concentrating on what you can see in picture, so apologies. So next I'm going to make a DIY envelope to go in, and this is the final one in this series for the embellishments. But my December daily series will continue through the month of December with videos of my layouts, hopefully giving you guys inspiration to keep going. My target is that my December daily album is finished in December. I know it's a big task, but I'm going to do it this year. I don't think I finished my 2015 album until about June, because I then started normal scrapbooking, and it's just such the wrong thing to do. I just want it finished in December to feel accomplished, and then I can move on with other projects going forward. So I do just use this, my envelope punch tool, to create this envelope, and it's that the We Are Memory Keepers tool is brilliant. I think Stampin' Up do the same one as well. And yeah, it's just make this envelope now. If you don't have one, there are tutorials on YouTube on how to make a DIY envelope. Or if you have an envelope floating around, a sturdy one, then just feel free to use that. Because all I'm going to do on here is, again, as I said, I'm not using a 12 by 12 pad. Now, if I was, I could have made the envelope straight out of the 12 by 12 paper, but because I'm using the 6 by 6, I am having to make the envelope and the pocket folder, for that matter, in white cardstock. However, it does make it a lot sturdier than just using pattern cardstock straight into the album, because this card that I've actually used is quite thick. I don't know what the GSM is, to be honest, but I think it's probably around 300. It's very thick. And again, just making sure that I've got my holes punched in that envelope. And I did cut the top off the envelope. I didn't particularly want the flap in there, but that, again, that's personal choice. If you want to keep the flap on, if you want to put a magnet on it to keep it closed, if you want to put a little bit of if you want to put a brad on just to tuck the seal under, just to keep it shut, whatever you want to do. There's no right or wrong answer when you're scrapping. It's whatever you want. Now, on this, this envelope works out about 6.5 inches, which means the paper is short. When I drew the holes in the paper to put the markers where the holes were going to be, it was just too close to the edge of the paper and it would have just ripped. So what I decided to do is I just used this gold Christmas tree washi tape. And if you haven't seen the hint I've given before, if you find that the washi tape's quite see-through, layer it. So put 2-3 layers on, however many layers you need to do, and the pattern appears a lot better. You can't see the holes through. Or if you're trying to cover something up, put multiple layers on and it'll do the job. So just cutting this down to, I think I make this 5.5 inches in the end, just to give it a white border around, and just using some double-sided tape just to stick this down. And I just decorate the back of this envelope. It has no function, but again, that can be changed during the month of December. If you find that you need another spot to add something in, or if you want to use it to put a photo on, perfectly fine. You do whatever you want to do. So next, I just find this 3x4 card. It's from a Bo Bunny pack, and it's just a tag. It's a special delivery. Just cut out the corners and punch a hole in it, and put some ribbon through, and then I just adhere that down. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have adhered it down just yet, just in case I want to move it, but it's there now, so if I want to add anything onto this page, and I just have to work it around that tag. And I thought it was apt because this is an envelope, so that's why I've added the special delivery on there. So next I get to adhering the envelope, the front of the envelope together. And again, I wanted to remain strong and sturdy, so I just used some red line tape. And just pull the back off of that, and it's easy as just sticking it down. Now the next bit I do, and again, oh yeah, just punching the holes in the washi tape. Now the next bit is a bit of a laborious task because I have used this white cardstock. I then have to sort of make some little marks to say where I want to cut the paper. Obviously cutting the odd triangles out of scraps of card. It's not that difficult, you just need to mark where you want to cut it and then cut it. And it literally is that easy. And you'll see there that I've adhered a couple down already. I'm just doing the last one here. I presumed you wouldn't want to sit through the process of that because it was pretty boring. But again, you decorate it in whatever way you want. So if you don't want, if you're using white card or if you're using pattern paper already, then you choose what you do with this. If you want to cover it in washi tape, go ahead. If you want to stamp it, go ahead. If you want to heat emboss it and leave it white, or whatever colour you've chosen, go ahead. And next I just want to do something, I just find that the inside of it a bit too white, so I just grab a gold doily. And I'm just deciding how I'm going to adhere this down. So I think that glossy accents is going to be the best. And because I don't want to waste a whole gold doily, I cut it in half. And we don't need all of that bulk in the album either. So again, just adding some little dots of glossy accents. And then laying that in the envelope. And just pressing it down for a minute. And I could have cut this section out, but I decided to leave it in. This is my mannequin challenge. Not so exciting. There we go, and it's done. And then just pulling the envelope apart, because I know some of that glossy accents would have... Oh, I'll do that in a minute, would have got through. So I'm just using this little wood veneer that says Wish. And sticking that down. And back to those tiny word stickers again. I have a feeling that I may well need to go and find another pack of these, because I think I used maybe a quarter of them just on these extra inserts alone. So just adding on a couple of those. Apologies again, I can't remember which ones I used. And now I'm going to pull the envelope apart, because there we go, it's stuck in the middle, just making sure that that doesn't stick. And then into the album, and again you can just put it in wherever you like, get moved around. So I'm just going to show you what we made today. So that's the bottle caps, and here's the little 4x4.5 extra pocket. And oh, you get a bit of a flick through of my album as well. And the envelope that we made. And again, it all ties in nicely because I'm using the same paper. And the pocket folder. That's got 3 pockets. Oh, and the little one on the front as well. And we made the little DIY card of the Christmas tree with washi tape. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye guys.